Depression doesn't always look like crying in the dark. Sometimes it looks like smiling through conversations you barely feel present in. Sometimes it looks like productivity, getting things done while feeling completely empty inside. And sometimes it looks like you, looking in the mirror, telling yourself and everyone else that you're fine, even when something feels deeply wrong. Depression often hides behind normal routines, responsibilities, and silence, which is why so many people live with it for years without realizing what they're experiencing has a name. Today, we're talking about 10 signs of depression, the kind most people miss, including the person experiencing them. Soft pause. If you recognize yourself in this video, you're not weak. You're human. Sign 1. Emotional numbness. Depression isn't always overwhelming sadness or constant tears. For many people, it's the opposite. They don't feel much of anything at all. Emotions become flat, muted, or distant, like life is happening behind a glass wall. Things that once brought happiness, music, conversations, achievements, even moments that should feel meaningful, no longer create an emotional response. It's not that they don't want to feel joy or connection. It's that their emotional system feels switched off, leaving them feeling empty, detached, and disconnected from themselves and the world around them. Sign 2. Constant exhaustion, even after rest. People with depression are often tired all the time. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but a deep, heavy exhaustion that lives in both the body and the mind. Getting out of bed feels like lifting a weight you don't have the strength for. Simple tasks like showering, answering messages, or preparing food feel overwhelming. Even doing nothing feels draining because the mind never truly rests. This constant fatigue often leads to shame, as people blame themselves for not having the energy they once did. Sign 3. Loss of interest in things you once loved. Hobbies disappear. Passions fade. Things that once gave life meaning slowly lose their color. Creative interests stop calling. Social activities feel forced. Even goals that once mattered feel pointless. This isn't laziness or lack of discipline. It's a loss of emotional connection, where the brain no longer experiences pleasure the way it used to, making life feel dull, repetitive, and empty. Sign 4. Changes in sleep patterns. Depression often disrupts sleep in extreme ways. Some people sleep far more than usual, using sleep as an escape from thoughts and emotions they don't want to face. Others struggle with insomnia, lying awake at night while their mind replays regrets, worries, and self-critical thoughts. Sleep stops being restorative. No matter how long they sleep, or how little, they wake up feeling unrefreshed, making each day harder to face than the last. Sign 5. Appetite or weight changes. Depression can deeply affect how people relate to food. Some lose their appetite entirely, eating only because they have to, not because they feel hunger or enjoyment. Others eat more than usual, using food as a temporary comfort or distraction from emotional pain. Weight may change without intention. This isn't about discipline or willpower. It's about coping with emotional distress in whatever way the mind can manage at the time. Sign 6. Increased irritability or anger. Depression isn't always quiet or withdrawn. Sometimes it comes out as frustration, impatience, or sudden anger. Small inconveniences feel overwhelming. Minor problems feel unbearable. People may snap, lash out, or feel constantly on edge. Not because they're cruel, but because their emotional reserves are completely depleted. This often leads to guilt afterward, reinforcing the cycle of self-blame and emotional exhaustion. Sign 7. Withdrawal from friends and family. People with depression often isolate themselves, slowly and quietly. Not because they don't care, but because they feel like a burden. They cancel plans at the last minute. Stop replying to messages, avoid calls and conversations. They may disappear socially, hoping no one notices how much they're struggling, even though the isolation makes the depression feel heavier and more painful. Sign 8. Harsh self-criticism. Depression changes the way people talk to themselves. The inner voice becomes cruel, relentless, and unforgiving. You're not good enough. You're useless. You always mess things up. Mistakes feel unforgivable. Success feels undeserved. Over time, these thoughts stop feeling like opinions and start feeling like facts, slowly eroding self-worth and confidence. Sign 9. Difficulty concentrating or making decisions. Depression affects the brain's ability to function. Focus becomes harder. Memory feels unreliable. Reading, working, or holding conversations takes more effort than it used to. Even small decisions, what to eat, what to wear, what to respond, feel overwhelming. This mental fog often leads to frustration and guilt, as people don't understand why they can't function like before. Sign 10. Feeling hopeless about the future. This is one of the most serious and dangerous signs of depression. People begin to feel that things will never get better. Not tomorrow, not next year, not ever. Hope fades and the future feels empty or threatening. In severe cases, this hopelessness can lead to thoughts about not wanting to exist. Not always a desire to die, but a desire for the pain to stop. When hope disappears, everything feels heavier, darker, and harder to endure. If you recognize yourself in several of these signs, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you may be struggling, and that struggle deserves attention, compassion, and care. Depression is not a personal failure. It's not weakness, and it's not something you have to face alone. If this video resonated with you, please consider reaching out to a trusted person, a mental health professional, or a local support line. Help exists even when it doesn't feel like it.